Welcome to Football Daily, where today we've made an 11 of Wonderkids who never realised their potential. Goalkeeper, Chris Kirkland. Chris Kirkland was such an outstanding talent at Coventry that Liverpool paid £6 million for the 20-year-old in 2001, making him the most expensive goalkeeper in British transfer history. At Anfield, he served as Jerzy Dudek's understudy, and though he impressed occasionally, injuries prevented him from taking the #1 jersey permanently. He made just 45 appearances in 5 years at Liverpool and was shipped out to Wigan, where he received his sole England cap. But his fitness problems never abated, and now 34, he plays for Preston North End. Centre-back, John Curtis. English defender John Curtis was part of Man United's famed FA Youth Cup team of 1995, and his versatility saw him at right-back and centre-back for the seniors, before Graham Souness stole him for Blackburn Rovers. Rovers were promoted to the Premiership with Curtis a rock in their back line, but he lost his place to Lucas Neal and spent the next decade as a journeyman in the lower leagues. He ended up on a football holiday in Australia, signing a short-term deal at Gold Coast United, where he called it a day in 2011. Centre-back, Francisco Pavon. The name of Paco Pavon became widely known at the beginning of the Galacticos era, when Florentino Perez said he wanted to create a Real Madrid of Zidanes and Pavons, a blend of superstars and academy graduates. Pavon was a local boy who made it to the first team and played more than 150 times for Los Blancos, but he was only ever filling in for more established stars. As usual, Perez was full of shit, and his actual plan was to pay Spanish youngsters a pittance to offset huge salaries for world beaters. Pavon himself retired in 2013, after spells with Zaragoza, Al Avignon, and a failed trial with West Ham. Centre-back, Dimitry Cheryski. Dimitry Cheryski first came to international attention when his Ukrainian side reached the final of the Under-21 European Championship, and his displays with Shakhtar Donetsk marked him out as one to watch. But it was still a surprise when Barcelona slapped €25 million on the table for the centre-back in 2009. The heat of expectation at the Camp Nou melted Chygrynskiy like an ice cream, as he played just 851 minutes in the league and got whistled for the majority of them. After a season, he was on his way back to Ukraine, and now he's with Dnipro, having played under 50 games in 5 years. Right midfield, Marco Marin. How many clubs have tried to make Marco Marin a star? The German burst onto the scene as part of Werder Bremen's outstanding attack with Aaron Hunt and Mesut Ozil, and like Ozil, he secured a big move, joining Chelsea in 2012 for around £6 million. But Marin couldn't displace the Blues' other attackers, and went out to Sevilla and Fiorentina, where he again failed to impress. Incredibly, he is still a Chelsea player, as the club have failed to find a single buyer for him. Currently, he's with Trabzonspor, and we should all hope that he stays there. Centre midfield, Djemba Djemba. Currently playing amateur football in France, it's pretty obvious that things didn't go as planned for Cameroonian midfielder Djemba Djemba. But his career started spectacularly, as Alex Ferguson signed him from Nantes for £3.5 million, hoping he'd found the heir to Roy Keane. But 18 months later, Djemba Djemba left for Aston Villa, then Qatar and Denmark. A move to Indonesian side Persebaya Surabaya was halted by the abandonment of the Super League season, and the player finally returned to France, where he's taking his coaching badges. Watch out, Guardiola. Centre midfield, Michael Johnson. The next Steven Gerrard, the future England captain, Michael Johnson had no shortage of flattering nicknames when he first appeared, and he's still the last Manchester-born player to play for Man City against United, representing the Citizens in 2007. But a double hernia operation failed to correct recurrent abdominal problems, and Johnson's drinking and mental health issues frightened the club as he spiralled towards contract termination. Johnson left the club in 2012, having played just 4 games for the first team in his final 5 seasons. He overcame his depression after leaving the spotlight, and these days he works in property. Left midfield, Denilson. No, not the one who played for Arsenal. This Denilson was also a Brazilian from Sao Paulo, and he scored 58 goals in 110 appearances for his hometown club, before a big move in 1998. Crazily, Denilson became the most expensive player in the world, commanding a fee of £21 million. Even more crazily, the club that paid the fee was Real Betis. The winger turned out to be a one-footed bust, and Betis were relegated 2 years later, with Denilson a bit part player only in their return to the top flight. His career fizzled out in Greece and Vietnam, doing stepovers for tiny crowds, his talent never bearing fruit. Forward, Freddy Adu. The quintessential Wonderkid, American Freddy Adu, signed his first professional contract at just 14 years old when he was selected by DC United in the MLS draft. He made his debut and scored his first goal at the same age, sparking hysterical comparisons to Pelé. At 18, Adu joined Benfica for €2 million, but he never broke into the team and was loaned out again and again. And after bouncing around Serbia, Finland and Norway, he's now back in the USA with the Tampa Bay Rowdies. That's the 26-year-old's 13th club. Forward, Federico Macheda. Italian striker Federico Macheda joined Manchester United from Lazio, impressing in the youth team alongside Gerard Piqué. And on his call-up to the senior squad, he scored the winner against Aston Villa before netting again just 46 seconds into his second appearance. Unfortunately, injuries took their toll, and his form only recovered during a loan to Birmingham City, where he scored 10 goals in 10 starts. Eventually, Macheda joined Cardiff on a free transfer, and though a career in the Championship is nothing to mock, the Italian failed to establish himself at the club, never becoming the world-class forward United fans expected. Forward, Fabio Payet. On arriving at Old Trafford, a young and more humble Cristiano Ronaldo said, "If you think I'm good, wait until you see Fabio Paim." The Portuguese forward was 3 years behind Ronaldo at Sporting and repped by super agent Jorge Mendes. But a loan to Chelsea failed to ignite Paim's career, as he featured only for the reserves, and eventually he left Sporting without a senior appearance. The Angolan League was next, then Qatar, Malta and Lithuania, before Paim joined Union 05 in Luxembourg's second tier. But a couple of months later he was dismissed for unprofessional behaviour, killing the fairy tale for good.
So those were our failed Wonderkids 11, but did we miss anyone out? Let us know in the comments below. And speaking of Wonderkids, it's rumoured that Real Madrid are interested in Dele Alli. We looked into this story and loads more in yesterday's transfer talk, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe.